are playing in the other room. Let me check if we have any voice commentators in the other room. 1 second. We don't. It's empty. So let's go there, David. We're switching to the closed room.
I've just got it.
Oh, sorry. Because there,
well, as you know,
top pairs in Poland who don't play Polish clubs throughout, I think. But you have the card.
yes, they're not playing Polish club. Five-card majors, strong no trump.
What did two spades show? Was it a two?
It showed five spades, and usually 5 in clubs or diamonds, but sometimes 4. 5 to 11 points. Well, it seems we're in for an easy ride following the north-south bidding. Excellent. They're playing a pretty natural system, not far off standard American.
Well, Declarer has 7 tricks and no more. 2 more spades, king of diamonds, ace of clubs, down 1.
Seems that Mextroth did well to pass in second seat on his hand. Shortage in hearts was a bit worrying for him.
Yes, indeed. His alternative would be to overcall an off-shape 2-note trump. But he did well to defend here.
Seems in all 3 events that the excitement round about the 8th place is somewhat less than in these tournaments, than the average amount of excitement that you get in these tournaments. In other words, in the women's event, there's a big division down, and in both of the other 2, there are only a limited number of possibilities. Round robin of 21 rounds is a long span, and it's not surprising that the field gets stretched out really after so many matches with so many victory points at stake. But there still will be some excitement, and of course all the teams that are going to qualify, they want to possibly get as high up as possible, so they have some chance of choosing opponents where they have some carryover, or they have a history of doing well against that team, that sort of thing. Apart from that, we can just sit back and watch fabulous standard of bridge from the best teams in the world.
Yep. Getting to 3-note trumps here. They may think that they have right-sided the contract because they expect East to have the King of Spades. However, West has it, but I don't think it matters much with this club position, especially not after the lead. You couldn't have asked for a better lead.
No, and it's not so bad anyway with Queen X opposite Ace third. If it's Queen X opposite Ace X and you get a lead of the Jack through and the King wins, you've only got one stopper. But here, although Declarer would be surprised to see the King appear from Rodwell, he at least would still have two stoppers left.
Max Stroff still has a club stopper, of course.
Still, the game's on top now, as we can see.
Yes, automatic heart lead by East. King of Hearts stands out a mile. How could you not find that? So many interesting matches actually in this round. This one, USA1 against France, Bulgaria against Brazil. Still not 100% certain, of course. USA2 not 100% certain of qualifying.
Do you happen to know what the rules are about USA teams playing each other? That only applies in the semi-final, does it? That if they're both still alive, they have to face each other in the semis?
Correct. No later than the semi-finals. They can meet earlier in the quarterfinals if one picks the other. That is allowed, but no later than the semi-final.
For me, these sort of matches, they carry much more weight and importance when it's one country against another. I know that in things like the European Open event or the multinationals, the standard of bridge may be as good if the partnerships are regular and the players at a high standard, but really something like the Bermuda Bowl carries the weight of being a very historic event going back into the days of the Italian blue team and other countries that have played well many decades ago. It's got a lot of history behind it, just like the Football World Cup or the test matches which are played in cricket, or all the great international sports, rugby and so on, where the whole world plays it. So I always regard the Bermuda Bowl as the king of all the tournaments and the one that's most enjoyable to watch, really.
Now here it's important that North becomes declarer. If they bid to slam, you see, to protect the king of clubs. Because the slam goes down, on the club lead, and West has a natural club lead. Aha! And maybe they have right-sided the contract now, David, with 3 spades.
They play 1 no trump 2 clubs. If you bid 2 hearts, 2 clubs is Stayman, but if you bid 2 hearts, you deny 4 spades. And that's why South has bid 2 no trumps. Maybe that shows
Those majors.
Both majors, but I mean North could have bid 3 spades, couldn't he? Assuming that's forcing.
Yeah. Here's the cubit. So it looks like they're getting to 6 spades. It's often right to play on the 4 forfeit rather than the 5-4 because you can get a discard if you have the 5-4 fit as a side suit. Here it doesn't matter because you have the king queen of diamonds to get 2 clubs away.
It's very, very difficult to judge such matters because if you play in the 4 forfeit you might be in trouble when the trumps break 4-1. And it's possible sometimes, I mean here the king queen of diamonds may be needed for club discards, but if the clubs were slightly stronger they could be used for heart discards, and if you played it with spades as trumps you could maybe avoid a bad trump break of some sort in hearts.
They did very well here, the Poles, I have to say. So the right-sided 6 spades.
It's only 2 15 counts after all, so I think that's pretty splendid bidding.
Yes, but you do have a double fit. Yeah, Kalita could perhaps have bid spades over 2 no trumps. I don't know if he showed a better hand by going through 3 diamonds. He was always going to bid spades first because I'm sure he could see the advantage of protecting the king of clubs if partner had nothing in the suit.
Well, it may be that 3 spades is just a game try. I mean, if it had gone 1 no trump 2 clubs, 2 spades, 3 spades, that's usually played in standard methods as a game try, so perhaps that wasn't available to him. See that 6 no trumps would also have been playable. When you've got a lot of points, something like 33, 34 up, can be right to play in 6 no trumps. Here that's not the case. They've only got 30 points, so typically would be relying on maybe a ruff or 2. Sometimes also the...
Okay, sorry, you had finished?
No, you go.
It's a bit worrying for Polish supporters that Nowosadzki is thinking of correcting to 6 no trumps. That would not be good.
Oh, he'll be playing that one, will he? Yes.
He will. But since he has nothing to protect,
well,
why would he?
Be outrageous. He's the guy who's opened 1 no trump, so it's his partner's been asking the questions, and he should be the one who decides. His partner knows what he has in clubs. South's got no idea. That would be pretty amazing.
I'm asked if the north-south positions are flip-flopped, so that we have Kalita in south and the Novosadski in north. I don't know, because I don't have video on. I do know the players.
Right. We do know, Roland, because the view graph operator is saying Kalita thinking now. So that suggests that Kalita is south. Is he the sponsor?
No. That's Masokevich sitting out.
Well, David Byrne is discussing whether they know the meaning of the bidding sequence, but it's pretty obvious what 6 spades means, I'd have thought, even if they're not sure what happens in the middle. With 2 clubs there, oh dear, that would be so disappointing for their spectators. Right, well done. Yeah, the operator confirms the names are the wrong way round, so maybe if he gets a moment, bathroom break or something, he can change the names for the record.
I don't think he can, David, because they are generated automatically on the server. So I don't think he can do that manually. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm right.
Well, they correct misspellings, don't they, normally, or is this just different because it's the Bermuda Bowl?
It is, yep. It's pre-arranged. So if the guy who enters the names makes a mistake, then we'll have the mistake throughout. So we can't do anything about it, but now that we know, we'll call North Novosadski and South Kalita. I'm sure we can remember, David. I mean, after all, they aren't women, so we should get it right.
Well, I can remember that north is Nowoza. Whether I can remember the missing letters is another matter.
Yeah. Let's see if Levin Weinstein can do the same. Traian Kira is online. He is our VuGraph coordinator in Chennai. So maybe if he can hear us or see us, he's not in the room, he's online. So if he gets a private message, perhaps he can do something about it. Let's see. One of the other yellow hosts is going to send him a private message.
At the other table, are they not at risk of using the Smolan convention to get the spade contract played by South?
You see, we did it. They did it, David. Yeah, yes, there is a danger. Let me see. But they're still playing board 2, so I can't tell you anything about that yet. So we have the names right now. Good. How many tricks can we count here? 6 tricks in the majors, ace of diamonds 7. So we need to work here.
has to choose which minor to play on. The majors are locked up, as we see, with a triple stopper.
Yes. Jack of clubs on side is nice. And with 8 cards in that suit, it looks right to go after clubs. On the other hand, your diamonds are better, but you need 2 more tricks, remember. You only have 7 tops. So it looks right to go after clubs, because they can produce 2
Yes.
tricks.
And if the 10 were to lose to the Jack, and they carry on hammering away at the majors, you would have a chance to switch to diamonds and play that suit instead.
Rothwell could have inserted the king from King Jack X. That's 2. Pretending that he had Ace King X. Possible. He didn't. That would have been a nice force card. I agree.
England have scored an early 10 imps against Argentina, and they're neck and neck with Poland already. So, considering the stronger opposition that Poland are facing, England would have hopes of overtaking Poland for the 3rd place. Quite a few teams have been in position 1 in the round robin table, including teams like France and Bulgaria. France was in the lead for about half of the round robin. They started off very brightly.
Yeah. Pleased to see that Bulgaria is leading against Brazil. Only by 5, but it's a start.
So Denmark has at least some hope of reaching the knockout stage in both the Open and the women's event. How about your seniors team? Are they any good?
They're not good enough to be here, David.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a triumph, really, if those teams qualify. Such a small country, that would be something.
Talking about small countries, it was a bit of a hammer blow for England with 65 million to lose in the World Cup rugby to Wales with 3 million. So we're hoping for a miracle tonight against Australia. Bookies make England tiniest of favourites to win this match, but Australia are rated just ahead of them to win the whole tournament.
My word, did you see what happened on board 2? Sorry, I mean board 3. They made South Declarer in 6 hearts, and of course West had a natural club lead. and down it went. 20-0. And by the way, on board 2, East did indeed find the lead of the King of Hearts against 3-no trumps, David. The contract still made, but how on earth did he find it? I believe it's Weinstein. Let me check.
Well, I mean, once you decide to lead a short suit, it's not that obvious which of the short suits to lead at 4-low or King Doubleton. That's the sort of lead that has people sort of standing up in their chair when they're investigating collusion signaling, which has been in the news a lot. But we have to recognize that some of these leads can be found by completely clean players just using bridge logic. You're hoping to find partner with a good suit, and if he has, then your king is helping towards it, so it all depends on what the full auction has been.
Yeah, it's 3 spades, pass, 3-no trumps, King of Hearts.
Well, he had precious little chance of setting up Jack 10-9 to 6. And as for not leading a spade, we saw Mextrot did exactly the same. He tried his luck in clubs and was unlucky. And he's tried the King of Hearts instead. Got lucky and then got unlucky because the contract was still there. So anyway, his partner must have thought, wow, I'm playing with the right guy, once he saw the King of Hearts at the table and he had Queen Jack 10 to 5.
Denmark behind by 3 after 2 boards.
Yes, still they're practically level with Brazil, so things are looking good for them.
I think they're 0.07 of a VP behind now, because Brazil went further behind against Bulgaria. Indeed, 226.98 to 226.91. Well, that will be exciting. Board 3 is a challenge, of course. So when we get to board 3, we may see some swings in the crucial matches. We had one in the Bulgaria-Brazil match already.
The East can't open one club because he plays a strong club system. In the original versions of Precision, you could open 2 clubs if you had 5 cards, clubs and a 4-card major. But a lot of players, as they're opening so high, they like to promise 6 clubs. So he's had to start with 1 diamond, and presumably that might have been the same if he was 2-2 in the reds.
Three hearts preemptive.
We saw in the last match that players don't like to bid 1 no trump, say on the West cards. When they've got 4 cards in the other major, they nearly always go for the negative double or whatever bid they use to show the other major. So Mextroff isn't worried that there's a 4-4 spade fit.
This contract can't make, of course, but it's definitely not a disaster for North-South, because East-West had an easy part score in clubs, for instance.
Yeah, it's not a million miles away from 3 no trumps, in fact. But I mean, they've got hardly any points. Just got a double heart stop. 4 clubs, 2 aces and 2 hearts to start with.
And that's why Declare is going a couple down here, because he has 2 heart losers, which is very unlucky, with 9 between the hands, including ace queen. In the women's match between Denmark and USA1, board 3 was a flat board in 6 hearts by South, down 1. And I'm pretty sure that this will happen at many tables.
North's raised to 3 hearts here on a weak hand with 4 trumps is so standard in the upper reaches of the tournament game nowadays that we tend not to mention it. But it really is a big advance in bidding over several decades back, the fact that you can raise an overcall or indeed an opening bid in 2 completely different ways. Usually to jump straight away shows a weak hand with good trump support, and if instead your raise is based more on high card points, then you would just Q-bid the opponent's suit, bidding 2 diamonds, something like that. And it's absolutely great to be able to jump really high takeaway bidding space when you've got a weak hand, but you're sure from the trump length, combined trump length of you and your partner, it's not going to cost too much. That's just such a big advantage over the way people used to bid in the old days. I sometimes think that although they could play the cards pretty well, the top few teams anyway, going back 50 years or so, I think that bidding has improved so much that even quite modest players in national terms, sort of players who occasionally win their local club game, I mean, they might have been able to do surprisingly well against some of the old stars just because bidding is so much better. when I look, say, in the old copies of Bridge World, well, I don't know if it's too harsh of me to say it, but I mean they didn't seem to have any idea about what fourth-suit forcing meant. You know, the whole point about fourth-suit forcing is that it's an artificial cipher just to show your strength without saying anything. But they kept on talking about raising the fourth suit and so on as if it may be natural, and all sorts of strange ideas. Even when it first came out, I mean, Rees was saying that it was a pitiful crutch, that's what he called it. And now, fourth suit forcing, now people do understand it, and they think, well, how on earth did they do without it for so long?
Now, you will be happy to hear, David, that on board 3, in the England match, open match, Forrester Robson made 6 spades from the wrong hand. They didn't get the lead of the Queen of Clubs. In the other room, 6 hearts went down. 14 imps to England. Leading big now.
Right, well, thanks for the good news, even though it seems a bit lucky on their part. Maybe a bit lucky on their part, but maybe it's a deserved swing away for the team that doesn't lead the Queen of Clubs, because it looked like the lead that we would be getting at most tables, and indeed what has been led at most tables.
Four teams within 4 VPs of 8th place now. So we still have some excitement. Nothing in the women's. It's decided already. Top 8 will advance. What about the seniors? Any news there, David?
Yes, I'm just bringing it up on my screen. Well, there are 9 teams which are well clear, so basically the 8th and 9th teams are fighting out that position.
Is Sweden among them?
It's Norway, Sweden and Austria on 249, 248, 245. Indonesia are in 10th, and they're a further 13 back. USA2 look pretty safe in 6th on 256, tied with England on 256 and a bit more, yes. So basically it's any 2 from Norway, Sweden, Austria. But Sweden are playing USA2 and already have quite a big lead there, so they have less scope for increasing their VP total and a lot of scope for decreasing it.
Bad news for Danish supporters against Singapore. The slam hand on board 3. Played by South for Denmark in one room, going down on the lead of the Queen of Clubs. But Singapore managed to do the same as the Poles did here and play the contract in 6 spades by North. So well done to Singapore.
In a way, if you are just a few victory points off getting into 8th position, it's better to be losing because you've got plenty of room to catch up victory points. If you're in that position and you're already on a 16-4 scoreline your way, then it's much harder to get any extra victory points at all. So I still think Denmark are in with a fine chance of getting home. Although on that board there was considerable scope for expertise in somehow or other getting North to play it. Also, there was a lot of luck involved as to whether a club lead was easy for West to find and whether indeed the ace of clubs would be on side. So we all know that's a big factor in bridge, that the slam hands carry a lot of points and it can just be a question of luck on the lead or the position of the defensive missing high cards. No reason for Denmark or any other team that happened to lose a slam swing on that one to worry about it unduly, because they've just followed their standard methods, which happen to leave one or other hand as declarer anyway. Nothing much they could do about it for most people. We've seen a lot of teams have played the slam by south. It's just bad luck.
Yes, indeed, because if you open a strong no trump, many Norse players would transfer to spades, right? And then you have wrong-sided already. Unless you bid 3 hearts next, because then partner can support the hearts, and you will be playing it.
Yes, well, all the methods for facing a strong no-trump are designed to make the strong no-trump guy declarer, which is what you normally want. You're normally expecting the king of clubs to be in his hand. So you can't really switch methods just because you happen to have a king and just because partner happens not to have the ace or queen opposite it. That's just unfortunate. Swings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Well, I'm told the methods are to blame, David, if you make self-declarer. North could see that it was right for him to declare. I think that's a bit harsh.
So what? What's he meant to do about it? Well, he can start with 2 clubs and then, but I mean, then Smolen might come into play.
Yeah, but not when partner has a major. So the
Anyway,
only way he can't do it.
He'd opened 1 no-trump, hadn't he?
No, South had opened 1 no-trump, right? So the only way North can become declarer is if he transfers to his spades and bids his hearts next. Because then he bids hearts first. So if they get to 6 hearts, it will be played by North. So if you bid it like that, to show 5 spades and 4 hearts, I think South should go for hearts, although he knows they have a 9-card spade fit and only an 8-card heart fit. South has absolutely nothing to protect, so maybe he should make a North declarer by supporting hearts rather than going back to spades. What do you think, David?
Well, I think that if you play Smolen to transfer and then bid 3 hearts shows 5-5.
Yes, if you do. Smolen isn't very popular in Europe.
Well, it's not a very good method if you transfer to spades and then bid hearts and partner doesn't know whether you've got 4 or 5 hearts. So I'm sure all pairs will have different sequences. You can use, if you don't play Smolin, you can still bid Stayman and then bid 3 of the major over 2 diamonds. Some people, I used to play once at 3 hearts, showed 5-5 to play at the game level, and 3 spades was a slam try with 5-5. So there's all sorts of space. You've got so much space with transfers and Stayman, you shouldn't have to be guessing whether partner's got 4 or 5 cards in his second major.
You don't have to guess, because if you don't have 3 hearts, and if you don't have 3 spades, you'll bid 3 no trumps, and then partner will pull to 4 hearts if he's 5-5, because then he knows you have a 5-3 heart fit.
Yeah, well, that's what people used to do years ago, but I don't think many top pairs would use that.
Well, now I'm told that you should avoid opening 1 no trump with a south hand, because you're 4-4 in the majors. Well, I know that's common in France. They don't do that with 4-4 in the majors, but I'm not a believer. I think you should open 1 no trump every time you have 15 to 17 with a balanced hand. Sorry. So I do not agree.
Me neither. What on earth happens to the bidding after that? You can't rebid 1 no trump because you're too strong. No, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, I've heard people say it. You've got to always think of the rebid, and basically when you're 4-4-3-2, you should either open a no trump, open 2 no trumps, open 1 of a suit and then bid no trumps, not to sort of bid 2 suits on a balanced hand, as I say it. But I know in France they rebid the 4-card major having opened a club and so on, even on a balanced hand, and that works absolutely fine as long as you're both playing the same thing. That's quite playable.
Now 1 no trump here is 15-17 in 3rd and 4th. You may argue that West is very good for 1 no trump, but remember it's not 14-16 anymore, it is 15-17. Yeah, it's closer to 17, I agree with that, but it does show 15-17 and not 14-16.
It's not ideal to open 1 no trump with ace king queen to 5 and ace king. I mean, you may have 7 running tricks, but it just solves a lot of other problems. If you always do open when you're in range and you've got 5-3-3-2, it'll work a good fraction of the time. Open a spade and you may find it hard to describe your hand. In particular, if your partner bids a non-forcing 1 no trump, then you don't know whether you should bid again or not.
Bulgaria doing all they can to help either Japan or Denmark qualify. They are up by 28 now against Bulgaria. Japan taking advantage, Denmark not at the moment. It's so close. Look at the leaderboard now. 8, 9, 10.
Japan are doing splendidly, but the point I made earlier comes in. They're already on 18 point something, so they can't get much higher than they are now, and they can easily be overtaken by Denmark with just 1 good board or so.
Yeah, look at Sweden, also in the 11th place. but they have 16 already, so this is the same as Japan, because they can only get 4 more from here. So here's the link, and you can see how close it is between 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th.
Seems like there may be a big advantage or some advantage to finish third rather than fourth. England are currently just ahead of Poland, so they're not wanting Poland to extend this lead against USA1.
I'm ordered to focus on this hand because it's going 2 down. This message was, of course, from a Polish spectator. Sure, sir. Poland having a great board. The contract is going 2 down. And you're not right anyway, because it's only 1 down, isn't it? I don't see how you can take it 2 down. Maybe I missed something. You catch the 10 of hearts, it's going to make. To get it 1 down, you have to play a diamond.
See that 1 no trump would have been extremely easy to make. 8 tricks on top with the spade break. Well played.
Yes, but he can see it's wrong to cash the high heart, because all the spades are good. If the declarer has 5 of them. And I think South has shown that he has an odd number. So well defended indeed. Declarer is marked with 5 spades.
Well, any sort of careless defender would think, how can it be wrong to draw the last trump? So I think that was pretty good defence.
Yes, it's true. He could also have played a spade rather than a diamond. That's true. But the good
Yeah.
part of it was that he didn't cash his 10 of hearts to draw the last one, because partner had helped him in the spade suit and say, well, you know, I have absolutely nothing in spades, and I have an odd number of spades.
So that's 33-1. Wow, that's quite a big difference. But anyway, so what if you finish fourth and you have to play USA1? Who's to say that they're a better team than teams around them, particularly Poland themselves?
Yeah. But I'd rather not play against USA1, David, over 96 boards. You wouldn't be regarded as favorite, would you?
Not sure we'd be regarded as favourites against any team particularly. There's not much difference. There's less difference between the top teams than there sometimes is when we had, well, particularly with Monaco and when Italy were good. They're not here now.
You know what? I actually don't miss them. I'm not thinking about you know what has happened and why they're not there, but I actually never thought about it during these championships. I think the bridge has been very good without them.
Well, the bridge was very good with them, and we always enjoyed watching them.
Yes, I do miss Helnes and Helgemo. I agree with that. That's a pair I do miss. But other than that, no.
Well, they'll be back when they, in a year or two. They're two wonderful players.
Oh dear, I'm asked about the rules with the carryover. I can't remember them in detail. Maybe David can. If not, Al may like to write about it, and then you can all read it.
Basically, it's some fraction of the result when you played your opponents in the round robin, and that fraction depends on whether you finished above or below them in the ranking list of the top 8, and whether you won or lost the match. So what the exact numbers are, it's not particularly important. The maximum carryover is 20 imps.
Well, doesn't it depend? Isn't it 16 and 20? I mean 16 in the quarterfinals and semifinals and 20 in the final? I believe it is.
That's what he says.
Two plus diamonds, 11 to 15, or 10 to 15 if you like. They open many 10 counts. And well done, England ladies. Just got a big swing against USA2, which means that Denmark is leading rather comprehensively at the moment. Destined, well, could easily finish first. Sorry, David, over to you.
I was going to say that it's not typical to go to the 3 level when you expect partner to have any 3-card heart support. Your ace king ace can also do good work in defense, but whether that applies or not can depend on whether you have a double fit. And here we see anyway that West has got a 6-card diamonds, yeah, and North-South have only 8 hearts, but they have a double fit with the spades. So it's going to play okay for them.
Yeah, that's the point, the double fit. Because as you said, it's usually wrong to go to the 3 level with only 8 trumps.
So if South had bid 3 hearts instead of 2 hearts, he wouldn't necessarily show any stronger hand, but he would show that he had 4 trumps, and therefore that he was willing for his side to go up to the 3 level for one reason or another.
If South could have bid 2 spades over 1 trump, being a passed hand, and he didn't open a weak 2, should that not imply heart tolerance? I don't think that's such a bad idea with this suit, King, Queen, Jack to 5. But then again, of course, you force partner to the 3 level if he doesn't like spades. But my point is that if you bid 2 spades as a passed hand, you must have at least tolerance for hearts.
England Open team are heading for a maximum, but it doesn't suit them that Poland are doing so well in this match against USA1. So England supporters and USA supporters are looking for something good in the east-west column on our score sheet.
Yep, a lay down slam here. 6 spades or 6 clubs. 6 clubs may be a little better than 6 spades. Just a wee bit, because wait a second. Yeah. No, not really. Sorry, ignore that. I was thinking, yeah. No, the risk is in 6 clubs is, of course, that they can leave a singleton spade and take a spade rough when they get in with the ace of clubs. So 6 spades is better.
Six no trumps, not of course. That's one time when you would have to find an aggressive lead against 6 no trumps and knock out the ace of hearts.
Yes, I think South will be able to find that. Not so sure about North. We are way ahead of the open room. They are still playing board 9 there. That's usually the case when we have Rothwell and Maxtroth at the table. That play is extremely fast. You see how it was
Setting up the
dangerous?
discards.
Sorry. We're going to say the same, David. Yeah, I know.
You go.
How dangerous it would be to cash one more round of clubs in case they break 3-1. So that's why Maxwell's played a club after one round of clubs. That's correct play. Pelita just curiously checks Max cards. Well, he's just looking at them without asking. He is violating a law there, because you're not allowed to touch the opponent's cards unless you ask and granted permission to do so. And why is that? Because, I mean, if you put, say, 12 cards, only 12 cards back in the pocket, it's actually Mac who will be responsible for that, although it's your fault.
there's always the chance that that queen may be doubleton, so you don't see many backward finesses in ordinary play. Right, well, the spade finesse lost, but it wasn't really unlucky. That was deserving of losing a swing, really, to get up to 5 unnecessarily.
But first of all, it's so much better played by North, a spade contract, whether it's 4 or 5. It's still better to make North declarer. Another example of where you want to protect the king, unsupported king, here the king of diamonds. Yeah, I think that was good play, because he may not lose on the board if they are on 4 at the table and miss guess clubs playing for the drop. He may earn a flat board.
Amazing that there are at least 5 boards behind us on the other table. What have we been playing? 1 hour 20, so they're not particularly slow. They must have been racing along at this table.
Oh, they are. They are very fast. You're right, David. 125 maybe, and they're on the penultimate board. That's extremely fast. Not Chagas speed, but close enough.
Yeah, looking at the latest leaderboard, nearly all the matches have compared 10 scores or 9. So they're just about on a par. We've compared 9. And it's this table which is breaking all records with the speed of the play. Assuming they do finish pretty quickly, Roland, we can have a choice of good tables to jump to. I'll leave that choice to you.
Can maybe Denmark, Singapore, or Bulgaria, Brazil. One of those, surely.
Let's go and watch Denmark, shall we? Why not?
Sorry, we can't, David. They're, they're not on BBO. So
Okay.
either it has to be the closed room of this match or Bulgaria, Brazil.
Well, there are probably some commentators already in the open room, aren't there, on this match? If there aren't, we can go there, otherwise go to the Brazil game.
I doubt it, actually. The open room, yeah, that is, yeah, I doubt it. We don't have that many voice commentators, actually. When it's night in USA, we don't have many. A handful.
Well, there are very few US commentators anyway, aren't there? Even if it's right in the middle of their time. They're normally all playing in some event or other, if there's some big, one of their 3 big tournaments during the year. Right, there's no voice in the open room, so we'll just skip over.
Yeah. Let's do that. I got the same message. Still only 7 boards scored in the Denmark match, which is very strange. 7 boards only. On board number 12, David, Brazil bid to 6 no trumps. Probably by
And what was led?
probably got probably a hard lead. Let's see. Who is declarer? That's very important because North may even not find the hard lead, whereas South probably will lead a hard, although that isn't certain either. Maybe he's trying to set up a trick in his partner's hand. Who knows? I don't know anything other than they are on 6 no trumps.
Someone tells me that they may be really quick here, but not as quick as the great Chagas, who is playing board 16 at his table. So he must carry the other 3 players along with him.
Oh, the lead was the Queen of Hearts from South. For Sweden, Japan and Denmark, of course. Brazil probably losing big on that board. Yeah, yes, going back to Chagas, of course. I mean, he is the fastest and holds the BBO record, the unofficial BBO record, in the Sao Paulo Championships a few years ago. He completed 16 boards in 1 hour and 8 minutes.
When did the other 3 players finish?
You know what I mean, David. He is extremely fast. I'm asked if they will have the draws live here. I haven't heard anything. Matrian would normally come to the rooms and tell us, well, we'll keep one room open and one table open to tell you about the draws. But I haven't heard anything yet, so I can't tell you.
Well, I've just been told it's 2 hours away. the captain's meeting. We were discussing earlier the roles of the coach and the captain, but of course the captain, advised by his players no doubt, does have a big role to play when you have to choose opponents. And that may depend not only on the carryover scores, but the record that your country has against the different countries, and the wishes of the players in the team, who they would rather face. If they just turn to jelly when they face Maxtroth and Rodwell, choose some other team to play.
If you have a choice, remember. So Al sent a message to Tryon. I sent a message to Tryon. We didn't get anything back, at least I didn't. But I don't think we'll have the draws live. If you say so, David, if the draw is 2 hours away, we surely won't. And now over to David to say something very intelligent when we are on board 16.
Something very intelligent. Well, who's going to measure the intelligence of what I say? I'm just going to say the same as always, that we are very happy to be here watching the world's greatest tournament on BBO. We're all having a thoroughly good time, and therefore we must thank the people who've contributed towards this entertainment. First of all, always, because they're really appreciated, the local viewgraph operators. Splendid collection of them. They've been really getting better and better as the weeks gone by, and they've got another week's hard work ahead of them. So, many thanks indeed. I'm just going to quickly click to find out the name of the guy. Right, it is Srinivasan Liengar. Many thanks to him. You've done a fine job for us. Thanks a lot. I've already said several times how wonderful it is to be able to benefit from BBO's service. They make their money elsewhere and provide this one absolutely free, so that's great, not just for us, but it's great for the game of bridge, because anyone, even the old guys who go to my training session on a Monday, where everyone's about 60-something jumping up and down on their springboards and so on, I can say to them, look, if you want to watch top-class bridge, just go to Bridge Base Online. You can watch it for nothing. Don't know if any of them do or not, so thanks to them. Thanks to Roland. We've had many enjoyable sessions commentating together, not just in this, but over the past heaven knows how many years. And thanks to you all for watching. Everyone's been delighted by the hordes of kibitzers, if that's the right collective noun, turned up to watch the world's top tournament. And now, just listen to Roland's analysis of this 4-spade contract.
I would lead a trump. By the way, David, isn't it amazing? I just feel, not that I've got a trump lead, but that's best. I just feel that we've been on forever, and we're only at the halfway point. I mean, this is the end of week 1, right? Finishing next.
Yes. Yeah. Remember, you've been doing 3 sessions a day for nearly every day, and I've only been doing 2, so it's even more for you. But it certainly does seem that every session we watch is well packed, because we're watching the world's top stars. They can bring to life, well, obviously they don't bring no trump contracts to life, goes without saying, they're dull as anything. But something like 3 diamonds upwards, you know, they're so good they can make that look interesting, even if it's not a game contract. So we should say that's a very good match for Poland. They've played well. Disappointing one for USA1. and going to make it pretty hard for England to hold on to third position perhaps. Let's see how they're doing. Or is 43 too much for Poland?
But USA has some good boards to come. 15 and 16. 3-no trumps has a chance here. 4 spades would have a chance on a non-trump lead. So I'm not sure. I think England will hold on to the third place, and at least they get a pick. If they do,
they get a pick. Yeah, that's important. In fact, the two teams are level now, but as you say, maybe USA are going to pick some back, which is exactly why Roland and I will be going over to the open room when this is over, and there's some interest in this one.
Yeah, France hammered China and beat Bulgaria. England would like to play against France, of course, if they have a choice. And Sweden up to 8 at the moment, as we speak. Well, that's amazing.
Seems to be a certain heart loser.
Yeah, there's only 2.39 VPs between 8s and 11s, David, would you believe? 2.39, 8s, 9s, 10s and 11s at this very moment. Now that's exciting.
Apparently England have 2 bad boards coming up for comparison, I'm told. Anyway, I'm not too bothered about it. If all 3 teams get through, they've done wonderfully well. Fantastic, well done, well played everyone. One down. Right, thanks for watching everyone. Perhaps you're going to join Roland and me in the open room. Bye for now.